One aspect of environmental issues that I feel does not get nearly enough attention is the issue of particulate matter, and in this module I'm going to discuss what particulate matter is and why it's important. Okay, so here's the rundown. Particulate matter is basically a bunch of small particles that come from the mechanical breakdown of larger particles. It usually comes from incomplete burning of organic substances like wood or coal. But besides burning things, particulate matter can also come from agricultural processes that involve uncovered soil, but it can also come from mining too. Even with all those sources, when people hear the word pollution, they still don't usually think of the term particulate matter. Instead, they probably think of something like greenhouse gases or Beijing smog. Well, actually that smog is particulate matter 10. That means that it's particulate matter of size 10 microns or less. Particulate matter is usually organized by the particle size. 2.5 and 10 are the most common ones, but when people refer to PM, they're usually talking about PM 2.5. So this probably brings up that age-old question of, does size actually matter? And the answer is, in this case, yes it does. Now, typically, a larger value is probably a little bit scarier. You might think PM10 is so large it must be the most hazardous. But actually, because of its aerodynamic properties, which allow it to move through the air and through our bodies, the small PM 2.5 is actually a lot deadlier and a bigger concern. And just what are these concerns? Well, particulate matter 2.5 has the potential to damage the human respiratory, cardiovascular, and nervous system. For starters, particulate matter can cause inflammation in your lungs, which leads to respirational stress from breathing. Particulate matter can perpetuate problems of chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It's safe to say that particulate matter just reduces the overall operation quality of your lungs. With regards to the cardiovascular system, particulate matter can disrupt the rhythmic beating patterns of your heart. In the bloodstream, it can form plaques along the inner walls of your arteries, which reduce the blood flow, causing what's called atherosclerosis. Particulate matter can also lead to the constriction of your blood vessels, which causes high blood pressure. Particulate matter can even lead to a deficiency in blood flow to your brain. Every year, about 7 million people die from the effects of particulate matter. Would you believe that over half of those 7 million deaths come from people cooking their own food? 50% of the world uses what are called open-fire cook stoves. Without any money for electric stoves, they're burning coal, wood, and even animal waste to provide heat for cooking. They're exposing themselves to a high amount of toxic gases like PM, carbon monoxide, aerosols, and hydrocarbons. This tends to happen in the regions that are poverty-stricken in South Asia and Latin America. In these regions, the climate's very temperate with very little wind for ventilation. To add to this, many of the homes are of course not very spacious, and they have even poorer ventilation systems. When focusing on environmental issues, the average person is really quick to discuss greenhouse gases and destroying the ozone layer. Of course, regulation of these types of things are very important for future sustainability, but particulate matter is a serious health concern that has immediate consequences. However, there have been very little efforts to combat this issue in poverty-stricken regions. Particulate matter is visible, we can see it. Although we don't see the daily effects in our own lives, that doesn't mean we can turn a blind eye to it.